reach forward is because it deflects movement that should be happening at the hips into the rib cage, and sometimes the hips don't move at all. And so I'll show you both moving the ribs and moving the hips. So often we get cued to move like this, and this doesn't really move very much. And so then we're no further ahead in terms of creating space in the pose. This actually gets quite bunchy. And if we target the movement to be purely from the hips and the spine stays neutral, then we can actually go down a little bit farther, and this space here is a little bit more open. So one of the ways to find straight without locking or hyperextending the knee is to actually start with a little bit of a bend and focus on rotating the thigh bone externally or outward, and also toning the calf muscle. So you almost feel like the shin bone is going forward, and that will allow you to straighten the knee without it locking back. So to start with, it looks kind of like this. External rotation, tone in the calf, straighten knee. Okay? If I don't do that, and you notice I'm also activating my foot just to keep the energy going through the leg. And if I don't do that, it looks kind of like this. So a little bend in the knee, rotate the thigh out, tone the calf, squeeze the leg straight. Right. So one of the common challenges that I notice that people have with triangle pose is figuring out what to do with the top arm, because sometimes the neck feels jammed up. And so the focus is again on rotating and moving through the torso and getting the shoulders to stack one on top of the other. And that way it creates more space. And so I come into the pose, I'm gonna move my ribs back and then turn so that my top shoulder stacks above my bottom shoulder. If I'm able to get that stack, the top arm comes up. What happens for a lot of people is that their shoulder is still rounded forward, and then when they take the arm up and then try to look up, they create a jamming sensation in the neck and shoulder. And so ribs back, stack the shoulders, and then the arm can come up, and you can even look up with a little more freedom. One of the challenges of triangle pose that people encounter is the front foot, because it's planted down quite firmly. And a lot of us who have had ankle injuries, ankle sprains, find that can sometimes be uncomfortable in the ankle joint. And so one way to still do the pose successfully, but get out of that angle in the ankle, is to support the forefoot on a block or a roll-up yoga mat or a wedge, whatever you've got. Because what that does is it takes the energy back this way. So the foot moves towards the heel, the shin bone moves towards the heel, and it keeps the energy from moving forward into the damaged tissue of an ankle injury. And so this takes me into triangle with no strain on my previously injured ankle.